I call this meeting to order. Please make note that everyone is here except for Mr. Holland. At this time, I'd like to call Brad Robbins to lead us in an invocation, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today just so thankful for all the blessings of this life. We're thankful for the ability to be able to lead and guide this school system, Lord, and all of the employees and the teachers and the students therein. Lord, we just pray for your wisdom, that we'll be able to discern the information and make right decisions for the benefit of our school system and for its children. Lord, be with us again as we go through this meeting and as we go our separate ways. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Board members, you've received the agenda for the meeting. May I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
A second? All those in favor of approving the agenda, please raise your hand.
All right. Thank you, board members. As part of our district strategic plan and long-term financial planning, I've asked Ms. Wallace to give us a couple of updates, specifically as it relates to bonds and some other things. And this time, I would like to ask Ms. Wallace to come forward.
I'm going to start moving closer when it's my time to speak. It's a walk across that room. Good evening. So tonight, I'm going to talk to you all about our future with our finances. Yes, we're preparing for budget time now, so this is all going to parlay and lead to that. As you're aware, we received advanced technology education funds from the state again this year. With that said, we have to submit a plan to the state by August for what we wish to do with it. This is the first year and only year that we are allowed to pay bond debt or any other kind of debt with this. And so just for your information for planning purposes, and this will be presented to you later should Mr. Woodfin decide to present this as a move forward for you all. But for your consideration and just for everyone's situational awareness, we'll have approximately $5.3 million that we can utilize to pay bond debt. Our 2015 bond, as you may recall, we utilized the Lieutenant Governor grant to help defease those bonds and pay forward like $2.5 million of those bonds. We have about $3 million left for those bonds. Those bonds are end in 2028. This fiscal year coming up, we will start doing principal on it again unless we decide to utilize some of this money to go toward paying off those bonds. So we have about $3 million left on those bonds, and so we could potentially utilize this $5.3 million, and then that 2015 bond would be completely gone. Then next, we have the 2018 bond. Now, if you recall, our bonds are staggered to where principal doesn't pick up on the next bond until that bond's gone. Our 2018 bond, we have about $5.2 million left on it. So we have the potential to use the remaining $2.3 million of the ATF funds to defease the bond debt on the 2018 and then use $2.9 million of our general fund budget or our capital funds that we received that we utilize to pay debt on top of that. If we utilize the $2.5 million that we have toward capital funds, we would still have to come out of pocket some for our general fund, but it would give an opportunity for us as a school district to remove 2 bonds in a matter of a couple of months. And then our focus would be on our 2021 bond, which is the kindergarten school and the 40 buses that we purchased. And then it would move that principal up for a faster timeline payment potentially. So that's some of the thought processes that we're going through this summer when we're thinking about how to utilize our money well. Because otherwise what we're going to continuously do is use that capital money and local revenue to help pay those off. This is a one-time shot in the arm for that kind of boost. Also, potentially, now we've been lucky that we've had these advanced technology funds for numerous years. It is less likely that we will continuously receive these in the future as the state is looking at other things to utilize for that rolling reserve. So that's just an option that we're looking at. So you would understand what potential debt we could resolve. We also have 2 state bonds. These were done years ago. It's where back in 2010 or 09, there was the QSCAB that you pulled in with the state. And we also had some pooled bonds. Now, those 2 bonds I can't get rid of early because they're piggybacked with a bunch of different schools districts. However, the QSCAB bond will be gone in September of 2027, and then the pooled bonds will be gone May of 2029. So by the end of June 30th, 2029, we have potential to remove 4 different debts. So utilizing all the funding sources that are applicable and allowable to use that. So I wanted to make you all aware of what we could potentially do down the road with these funds and to help with our debt.
Yeah, and Ms. Wallace, I appreciate you explaining that so well. Board, the thing I want everybody to understand on this is these funds are what we have fixed a lot of things with over the last few years. This is a one-time shot to be able to use these funds next year to pay down the debt. After that, I think it's just 1 year in the legislature, the way they
Yes,
wrote
sir.
that. So the reality is if we do use those funds for that next year, well, a lot of the projects you've seen over the last 3 years will not happen next year because, again, that's the funding source for a lot of those things. Some of the things we're going to talk about here in a minute on the consent agenda. But, again, like Ms. Wallace is saying, this is a one-time shot to knock off a lot of things that sets us up better moving forward as well. So I just want y'all to know, and everybody watching, you know, this is a trade-off. You know, it is to me, it's the most financially sound decision to go ahead and knock it all down. But the trade-off is going to be, okay, well, if there's a need for a metal building, well, the only decision we'll have to be able to make that happen is coming out of general fund because this is the pot of money that we're pulling from now. So, you good with that, Ms. Wallace?
Yes, that's very accurate. Over the last 3 years, we've had a great opportunity to fix our facilities and have done wonderful things across our county system with every school on some shape or form or fashion. And so I think we've got ourselves set up in better condition than we were 3 years ago by just doing basic overhauling of our schools in some level. So this would be a good opportunity to look at doing something a little different to help us longevity down the road with debt or whatever. Are there any questions? Anything?
You want me to ask? Okay, I'm gonna butcher this probably.
That's okay.
I didn't have a pen to write all this. If we were to get rid of or pay off the bond debt, and let's just say at least just the 2 for now, does that affect what we're allowed to borrow in the future?
So the 2015 would be completely gone off our books. The 2018 would be gone off our books, but still on our credit,
Okay,
okay?
okay,
But keeping in mind with our borrowing capability, that would be noted that it's taken care of. It just can't be removed technically until it's callable. The 2018 is not callable yet. But it would be a couple years, but all that money would be sitting aside to handle that. With that said, we as a district are never going to be able to do more than $30 million in bonds, no matter what kind of debt we have, because we don't have more than 10 mills ad valorem. So it doesn't matter if we were debt-free or not. We will never be able to do more than $30 million of bonds because of what our ad valorem is. So you're looking at, in the future, any kind of bond, the max you're gonna be able to do is 30 million. And so with any other future projects, you would have to pitch in, so to speak, with general fund to help make whatever projects down the road.
That's if we're taking out the bond. You know, now we've talked a little bit over the past year and a half about other options. In theory, it would allow us more capital to be able to put toward a funding agreement to make more of a payment, because instead of paying the bond, we could apply it to there. But again, in that scenario, we're not the bond holders. The county commission or the city of Prattville would be. So in theory, doing this does give us some freedom on the funding agreement side, but not on the bond capability side, because like Ms. Wallace explained, it's basically the collateral that we have to use to put up is the millage, and our hands are tied there.
Okay, go ahead.
You go first.
I know the last time you went before the city, you gave them a deadline. Have you heard anything about, have you heard from them about what, if they're gonna partner with us, or?
I haven't heard anything official. You know, I was on the phone with some people earlier today from the county commission. Did speak to Mayor Gillespie some today as well. I haven't got an official, this is what we're thinking we're gonna be able to do yet, no. We have had some productive meetings on trying to figure out the funding side of the Elmore portion of Prattville. But at the moment, no.
Remind me again, Ms. Wallace, how much did the ATF funds, how much were they reduced this year compared to last year?
Drastically, we lost over $3 million. Last year, we had $9 million. This year, we've got $6 million, but I'm utilizing $1.3 million to pay for our insurance. That keeps that off of our general fund for one more year, because in the future, I'll have to pick that up.
In both of our meetings, Ms. Wallace's meetings financially, and then our meetings with SSA, that's one of the data points that they're pointing to, saying, hey, here's more proof that these funds are gonna disappear next year because they're changing the legislature to allow you to pay off bond debt just next year. You know, are they, that points more towards plan for those to be disappearing. Any other questions for me or Mr. Glover? I think you had one there. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm trying. So, in your opinion, do I need the microphone? Can everyone hear? If we're capped alone at 30 million, no matter what, does using this money that we're readily using now to do the much-needed projects, does that outweigh paying the debt? Because unless we're gonna build 14 kindergarten schools over the next 100 years, 30 million ain't gonna touch a high school. 30 million is not gonna touch a junior high school or an elementary school the size of Daniel Pratt. Y'all, I would love to get us out of debt, but I really don't see the need of rushing to get out of debt and using the capital that we have if it's not going to help the cap rate on the bonds.
Right. Well, and that's one option that we can look at. With $5 million, then you have to look at, well, what are you really capable of doing in 1 year? Because you have a 1 year time frame. And so, but that is another option, not to do anything toward debt and then continue to remodel or dress up or whatever. So that is an option.
But because in all honesty, and I think if we all want to be honest here, we live like we live paycheck to paycheck. That's what the situation we're in. So it would seem to me like $1 million project at Billingsley or $1 million project at Marbury Middle or whatever else, people see that. It makes an effect today. I'm not arguing the point of trying to get out of debt. I understand
Yes,
it. But most people, most families get out of debt so they can go do something bigger.
Yes, sir.
And we're not able to go do anything bigger.
Can I add a little context there, Mr. Glover? Ms. Wallace, not to put you on the spot, but our bond debt servicing right now per year is what? About 2 million or so,
It's more than that.
yeah.
We're averaging.
Maybe I'm thinking of what we would save. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with our 2015 bond that we start paying it back, that's about 1.5 million. And then you've got the interest only on the 21 bond, and that's 1,023,000. And then you have the interest only that you're paying on the 2018 bond, and that's about 500,000. And that's just what you're paying and not getting ahead because you're not able to touch that principal yet. Now, we are continuously, the 2018 and the 2021 bond has bus debt. That has to be paid with principal every year. We've got the fleet renewal funds that we're utilizing for that. But this would also be a good opportunity if you're paying off that 2018. Now I'm able to build up my fleet renewal, so then I can outright buy a bus and not have to go into debt again for a bus. So, because you can roll that over. But also, I do understand most people, you're paying off debt so you can do something else. If you consider paying off the debt, so then we can fast track getting rid of these 21 bonds for future down the road. Or you're looking at paying off those debts, so then maybe you do a $30 million bond and then you put some general fund money with it to get what you need to accomplish. That may be an option as well.
Yeah, and also, again, if we have a partner, whether it's the commission or the city of Prattville, whoever, or both, I mean, maybe both will, but if they come to you with a funding agreement where they are taking out the bond, now that frees up the capital that we would otherwise be paying on a bond debt. Now we can allocate that toward that to free up more money as well, so.
Okay. So what it boils down to is if we paid those three off that you mentioned, it frees up $3 million a year that could go elsewhere besides debt service. That's what we're saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is in the ATF amount is 5.3 million?
This year, after
After
paying
insurance.
after insurance,
Yeah,
it's
about
actually
6.5,
6 million.
yeah.
But after paying insurance, we'd have 5.3 million to do either projects or debt.
And again, just wanted to bring all this to you because, again, for the last 3 years, we've spent between 6 and 9 million, I think it's right, between 6 and 8 million for sure, in projects every year. You know, so just, if we go this route, and again, that's what tonight is, bring it to y'all, let y'all chew on it. You know, but if we go this route, the projects stop, but you're building in a little more flexibility in case there's some agreements with funding partners. You know, I also emailed you guys some numbers that actually did go down, you know, with different projects. I was kind of surprised by the architects, you know, estimates on some of that. You know, obviously, you know, the project everybody's talking about, the high school, without a funding partner, there's no way you can do that. Our cap on projects would be around in that $50 to $60 million range. And, you know, I sent you guys some of those estimates, you know, a new elementary school in Prattville to mirror Daniel Pratt would be around that number, as well as a Prattville Junior High, as well as a Marbury High School. Our reality is, without a funding partner, we're only going to be able to decide on one of those three projects, and that's part of why I'm bringing this to you guys now, as well as these are some of the decisions we're going to have to make very soon to chart our course, because right now what's killing us is we can't form a 5 to 10 year plan with how we're doing things. If we go ahead and pay off some of those bond debts, at least if we don't get a funding partner, at least we have a mechanism in place to make a decision and do the best we can with the one project that we can do.
There's so much really I want to say.
Go ahead.
I mean, are we gonna use this time to speak freely and just get it all out on the table? I mean, and I don't want to put you on the spot.
I'll tell you what I can remember off the top of my head.
We will answer the questions as best we can. Mr. Glover, I've
just-
known you a long time. This is coming whether I,
Well, and look, I don't wanna bore the staff, and I certainly don't wanna bore my fellow board members, but, you know, sort of back to Kim's question. I mean, if, I was in the meeting at the State House with you. There was a deadline that was passed before we went to that meeting. I mean, I think it's becoming eerily obvious that the city is not prepared and/or willing to do anything. You know, at some point in time, Autauga County, its citizens that elected us, and most especially our students, deserve leadership where a path is set forward. And if I've never been the kind of guy that wanted to sit around and let somebody else determine what kind of path that I wanted to go down. And, you know, I would submit to everybody in this room that can hear me, we need to come up with a plan, a pathway forward. And damn the torpedoes, we need to do what we have to do. I mean, I think that's where we are. I hate to be the guy to say it, but I'm obviously not afraid to say it.
Yeah, I think that's part of the decision we got to make with the one-time opportunity to pay off bonds.
Yeah.
Because,
You know,
it gives us some freedom to borrow a little money, but it also, if one of the entities comes to us with an agreement, it gives us a little more flexibility there. You know, I've been very vocal, and I appreciate you saying that. You know, it's on public record. We've said it numerous times. We've got two major infrastructure issues that we cannot solve without help. And those two issues are the building conditions of schools in Prattville and the growth of the Marbury Pine Level area. And, you know, with those estimates that came in from the architect, you know, when you're talking about long-term things, those are the three options that are before us right now without a funding agreement. We are going to have to decide, do you build a K-6, or not K-6, a 1-6 school in Prattville? Do you build a junior high, or do you build another high school in the Marbury Pine Level area? That is the decision that's barreling down the tracks for us, whether we like it or not, without a funding agreement. Obviously, if both entities came to us and, you know, I'm just gonna say hypothetically, if Prattville said, hey, we don't wanna do the high school, but we can do this, okay, well, that gives us time to figure out how much money could we put into that, and then if the commission did something else. I mean, but worst case scenario, to echo what you're saying, you and I both are former coaches. You always plan on worst case scenario. Worst case scenario for us right now is there's no funding agreement, and you gotta look at what we can do. And what we can do is a $30 million bond, kick in general fund money, but the only way that's an option is to pay off some of the other bonds next year, because otherwise you're not gonna have enough capital to do it.
Yep, I agree with that point. Okay. Back to my point, okay? If we're sitting here and we're trying to make a decision on the long-term future for our students that are in kindergarten today, or in first grade today, or in seventh grade today, it doesn't matter. If anybody thinks that the personalities that are sitting up here believe that the city of Prattville should dictate what that future looks like, being at a junior high school or another elementary school, guys, I don't believe that. I don't. I'm not speaking for anybody up here, but I do not believe that that is the right path for this community or for this board to even entertain. We're the educational professionals. We're the ones that the people elected to drive this ship forward, and to sit here and wait on Prattville to say, well, here's what we want you to do. We want you to build a new elementary school. I mean, I hope others are finding that as strange as I do, even if they're giving us the money or allowing us to pay their bond because they have a higher cap rate than we do. I mean,
In fairness, that hasn't come up yet, but we're working through all that.
I understand.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Well, my question is, how much longer are you gonna wait?
Yeah. And I mean, because it sounds like basically if the city of Prattville does not get in an agreement with us, we will not be able to do anything in the city of Prattville. My understanding
probably is correct.
Absolutely fair.
So basically, if you're in the city of Prattville and you're wanting something, you need to be talking to your city councilman, because we can't do anything without their assistance, is what I'm understanding, right? So if we don't hear from them, we have to move forward without that consideration,
Well, and y'all know,
because
that's
we don't
not-
have the funds to build what it takes for something in the city of Prattville, because we have so many kids here.
We've been working multiple angles for the last 6 to 8 months, and we need somebody to either, whether that's the commission or the city of Prattville, whoever, what are we gonna do? Because at the end of the day, our jobs, we gotta do the best we can, what our options are. And for us, the only option we have without one of those two entities is we're gonna have to decide between those 3 projects.
Right.
That's our reality. It's not, that's just facts.
Can I get a clarification on something? Okay, when we had our presentation of what we were capable of borrowing and things like that, we figured out exactly what the city of Prattville currently gives to the Board of Education. So yes, they pay for SROs, a portion of it, so I can't even remember the amount. But what it boils down to, it's like it's less than $150 per student for the whole entire year that are students that attend Prattville High School, correct?
Yes.
So basically, they pay for a family of, well, at this point with inflation, a family of 2 people's grocery bill for the week, right? Or going out to a steak place for a family of 3.
Yeah, we, have
That's what we-
700,000 that we receive after they remove the SRO.
Right.
Amount.
But if you take the amount of students that are
Yes,
enrolled at
ma'am.
Prattville schools, the city of Prattville currently gives us about $150 per student for the entire year.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not enough. Especially, I mean, that's just not enough.
And look, I'll say this, I'll remind some people in this room, because several of them probably already know the story. During this process that goes back several years, we've lost some of the council members that were engaged in this to begin with. We've been accused of several things: begging, trying to bring our problems to other entities that it's not their responsibility. Well, look, here's the reality. With 10 mills of taxes, we can borrow $30 million. That's not going to change. It's never going to change. Okay? So we provide a service to every child in this county, near about, if they don't go to Ivy or wherever else they go. Okay? Lima, we got to start dictating that. We have to formulate where we can go, what we need to do, and we've tried to work with everybody that we could. We've had elections around here. People have ridden the platform of education. I'm just going to say it. They wrote it right into victory on election night. Where are they now? Where are they now? You know, they come to the meeting sometimes, and, you know, we bring the bond company here and we lay out a plan to better the community. I don't really know what else to say about it. And for the record too, I'm not being critical of Lyman and the job that he and all of his staff has done in trying to work on these agreements and everything else. I wish superintendents from long ago had worked on stuff like that as hard as you have. Maybe it wasn't a possibility, I don't know. But I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Turns his mic off. Well, it's just incredibly frustrating sitting over here knowing that you went before with an ask and a deadline and that has passed. And we haven't heard anything. We haven't had I haven't had any productive conversations about moving forward.
So maybe a no, maybe a non-answer is an answer.
Well, I think that at this point, maybe we just have to assume that
Yeah.
And because we are gonna have to make a decision really soon. And, you know,
I will say this, we will have to make a decision this summer about the ATF funds, okay?
She's
Let
ready
me
to sit
swing
down.
this on back.
We'll think
you, Ms.
about
Wallace.
it. We'll think about it, Ms.
Great
Wallace.
job
Come on
there.
back, come on
Appreciate
back to
you.
me.
Appreciate you circling
Need
back
you
there.
back.
That was a lifesaver.
We have to make a decision this summer on the ATF because I have to turn it in to the state at the beginning of August. So we'll come back. We just want to give you some food for thought, and we'll come back with this probably at the next meeting. Thumbs up, or maybe just a conversation with the super about it.
Hey, can I ask one more
Yes,
question?
ma'am.
The August deadline, does it have to be earmarked or?
I
like
have
you
to
just-
submit it to the state by August, and the State Department has to approve it.
And then does it have to be spent before the next?
It has to be spent by
Fiscal year.
September 30th, 2027.
Okay.
We
So I have
got
1
time. You
year.
can make some adjustments.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yes,
Okay.
but I can make amendments throughout the year, if so be it. Like with our current situation, I've had to make amendments like, this is not enough money, I'm gonna shift out of it and go up, so I can do that kind of thing. But yeah, I do have to, I'd like to get it turned in July, so I can get the permission back and get that money, because I won't get the money until they send it to me.
Well,
until
so
they-
what you're saying is we need to make our decision in the next 2-3 weeks.
We'll be giving you some stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all start thinking.
Okay.
Well, and also though, that whole process of going through Chris Williams and helping us defease all those bonds, I mean, it is a pretty substantial process.
It
So,
is, and so if this is a pathway that we're going with, our next payments due October 1st, it'd be really good to have a decision so we could knock it out. Anyway,
I heard you loud and clear, Ms. Wallace. You said, don't worry about money. We got plenty of it. We're gonna build 4 schools and you're gonna make it happen. I heard
sweep
it.
account.
No. All right. Anything else for Ms. Wallace?
We're broadcasting that, so you better, you're gonna be on City Watch later saying where everybody's getting a
okay.
new school.
That's all right. Well, good discussion. I appreciate the discussion there, and we'll circle back up on it. Before my recommendation for approval of the consent agenda, I would like to give some information on a few items that are listed. Item number 2 contains all athletic and field trips for this month and the coming months. Item number 3 contains a list of items that are no longer in working condition and need to be disposed. Item number 4 contains supplemental pay requests for summer learning, instructional services, school activities, and other services. Item number 5, request approval for Caldwell and Sons Plumbing to install backflow devices on existing water points of origin at multiple locations throughout the district. These devices are required by state law. The cost of this will be $61,575, and local funds will be used to cover the project. Item number 6, request approval for Mathis Parker LLC to be awarded the bid for metal buildings in the following locations: Billingsley School, Marbury High School, Prattville High School, Prattville Primary, and the maintenance facility. The metal buildings located on school campuses will be used to address Title IX requirements. The facility at Prattville Primary and the maintenance department will provide a much-needed storage for the district. Mathis Parker LLC provided a low base bid of $4,974,000 and 2 alternates with a low bid of $4,600,000 for a total bid of $9,574,000. Advanced Technology Funds, 2021 bond funds, and local funds will cover the cost of the project. I'm gonna pause there just a second. You know, this is something we've been working on for several months now, and to follow up on the heels of the discussion there, you know, been in the district for 20, I don't know, long time. Went to school with Ms. Jackson and a lot of you. This is something that's been needed a long time. The facilities, especially on our female athletic side, leaves a lot to be desired. So I think this is a major step there. I've been asked a few times, why are we not addressing the middle schools there? Well, it goes back to the discussion we just had a minute ago. You know, if we're looking at a Marbury Middle or a Prattville Junior High, well, it doesn't make a lot of sense to dump $2 million into a building while we're still trying to navigate some of the things we just discussed. So this does hit the high schools. It puts us in much better solid ground moving forward there. We'll reevaluate the other schools as we get going a little further. But I'm extremely excited about this, and even something as simple as storage. You know, you go behind this facility right now, there's a trailer there that's been there forever. The floor's fallen through. Our special education staff members have stuff in a trailer where literally the floor is falling through. This is just something that's been needed a long time, so I appreciate y'all considering it. Item number 7, request approval to add 2 additional staff members to present at the new Teacher Academy that was approved on the March 10th meeting. This is a program that the district will host this summer. The program is designed to provide incoming employees with a strong foundation for a successful year. Item number 8, request approval for additional needed staff for the KinderQuest initiative. Teacher stipends will be provided to support staff who assist with planning and implementing KinderQuest, ensuring the event is successful and impactful for students, families, and schools. Funding will be provided through the ARI implementation grant that was awarded early this year through the LSD. Item number 9, request approval for the Talk County Schools to sell the Prattville YMCA bus number 0803-2008. It is a Bluebird 72-passenger bus with the VIN of 1BAKGCK A48F243308 for $4,000. This bus was listed on govdeals.com twice for auction. The first auction bidder opted not to purchase, and the second, we elected not to accept the bid. So this helps the Y, and it rotates out a bus that we don't use. Item number 10, request approval for the Ottawa County Schools to enter into 3 agreements. The first agreement is with Montgomery Interpreting Services, LLC. Brenda Montgomery and her team will provide interpreting services for hearing impaired students as needed at $75 per hour for the 26-27 school year. The second agreement is with physical therapist Kristen Buckner, which is the district's full-time physical therapist, and her contract will not exceed $75,000 for the school year. Lastly, Amanda Davis is the district's part-time physical therapist, and her contract will not exceed $50,400 for the 26-27 school year. Item number 11, request approval to purchase additional networking equipment necessary to complete the district-wide network infrastructure project. Over the last several phases, Ottawa County Schools has made significant progress in modernizing its network environment to support instructional technology, increasing device demands, and improved cybersecurity measures. The final phase of this project includes upgrades at the remaining 3 schools, Prattville Primary, Prattville Elementary, and Daniel Pratt Elementary. The total cost associated with this is $161,476.86. Funding for this purchase, again, will be provided through the Advanced Technology funds. Item number 12, request approval for additional support staff who will provide support for the summer special education program at Billingsley School. During the 3-week program, employees will work directly with the Bailey Group as needed to support students in the following areas: IEP goals, development, and functional, social, and emotional learning skills. This program will operate from June 8th through the 26th, and the costs associated with the program will be paid using state funds. I know that was a lot. Are there any questions with the consent agenda as presented?
I do.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Seems like tonight was my night to talk. Item number 5.
Item number 5. Okay.
The backflow meters or whatever they are on the plumbing. I was told, okay, by the gentleman who obviously has won this bid to install these, that yes, it is state law. There is no time frame as to when the deals have to be done. And there are only 2 entities in Prattville who have done them up to this point. One of them is the Waterworks Board. No city of Prattville buildings, no county buildings. No one else has coalesced and done this as of yet. Just a point.
I'm not sure of who's done it, who's not.
I know.
Mr. Kamara, I'm glad you're here. I'll put you on the spot if I need to. My understanding is some of the requirements that have been given to Mr. Kamara from the state and others, this is something we need to get on and do.
I got it too for 2 buildings that I own in town, and
Yeah, now they did tell us, it is state law, there was no way around that.
yeah,
So we're either gonna do it over time or we're gonna do it.
yeah.
In having discussions with Ms. Wallace and Mr. Woodson, and the group, we felt it's better to go ahead and do it and be in compliance with what's gonna be required of us. The state law was designed to prevent anything entering the public what we were able to do, talking with Caldwell and Sons, is get it at a discounted price because he's done these before. That was the whole reason that we wanted to go ahead and get them done. Now, we also, what's not in this, because we can provide the additional backflow inspections that has to be done on a yearly basis, we are also doing those, which, could require even more backflow devices to be installed. But at the end of the day, it was to go ahead and be in compliance, do it at one time, go ahead and have the cost now while we do have funds to cover it. That way we don't have to kick the can down the road.
Thank you for being proactive.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're really
Yeah,
trying
my
to
question,
say.
my question
I think that's
was,
what
obviously,
Mr. Glover's
this is
saying.
the best time for us to bite of the apple and take care of that, even though no one else has done it yet. Okay, all right.
We try to be proactive in all things, Mr. Glover.
Lead by example.
That's right. That's right. Any other questions on the consent agenda? No further? Mr. Robbins, I don't want you to feel cheated. All right. At this time, I recommend approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Okay. Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. May I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand.
At this time, I recommend approval of the personnel report as presented.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. May I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor of approving the personnel report, please raise your hand.
All right. Board members, at this time, I recommend entering into executive session at this time for approximately 30 minutes to discuss selling or purchasing of property.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. May I get a motion to approve the executive session?
I make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor of executive session, please raise your hand. This won't last but 30 minutes. And no votes. I'm sorry. No votes will be taken.
All right. Thank you.